Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last day of the 21-day YouTube challenge. Today, I'm going to be covering what to do when you do everything right and you still can't win. So, in order to get to this point, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of backstory here. Back in 2005, I was 15. I just come back from a Taekwondo break, and I decided that I wanted to compete again. And of course, someone such as myself, if I'm going to do something I want to do it and become the very best. So the goal was to become the junior national team member. 2005, and I knew that I was going to be a little bit behind the curve because I had taken a year off to play really competitive soccer, and at the I knew that I was going to have to do something a little bit extra. So a lot of people were doing workouts twice a day. I decided I was going to do workouts 3 times a day. That was pretty difficult, and so all through 2005, while a sophomore in high school, I was a sophomore in high school. While a sophomore in high school, I trained 2 to 3 times a day during the season, and unfortunately did not make one of the first qualifiers. So I had to fight a second qualifier. I lost at that qualifier. I went to the third qualifier, placed bronze over there. Went to nationals after training this whole time, and got smashed. So I decided the next year had the same goal, make junior national team. This year though, I picked up Thinking Body Dancing Mind, and I started visualizing. Started visualizing how to win, visualizing my opponents, visualizing how to do and recover after bad calls, etc., etc. Adjusted my program slightly because I have different weapons now, different things I want to use, and I trained 2 to 3 times a day, just like the year before when I was 16. No parties, no hanging out with friends, none of that. This year, though, I win regionals. I go to nationals, and I lose in the finals to the national team member. Um, Devastated. I was like, well, I'm really close. Next year I'm going to be 17. I should have all that. Essentially, in the 14, 17-year-old division, I'll be at the top of the bracket. I make another attempt. Same thing. High school, training 2 to 3 times a day. This time I'm on point with my nutrition. I'm eating what I believe I'm supposed to be eating: fruits, veggies, carbs before workouts, lots of protein after workouts, the works. I started training even sooner. Same thing, I'm still visualizing. This year at nationals, I fight the junior national team member in the semifinals and I win. And then I go to the finals and I win that, and I win all of the U.S. nationals 2007. However, this year they implemented the team trials. So a month later, I fly to team trials. There I fight the junior national team member again, and it's a best 2 out of 3. Unfortunately, I lost again. Now in this scenario, after I'd lost for the 3rd time in a row, never making junior national team, I cried after, because that's a lot of work to put in, especially someone in high school. And I remember there's a friend of mine at the time. I hope you're still doing well. His name is Tyler Sawyer. And he put his arm around me. He's like, Chris, it's okay. I didn't make junior team this time. And I nodded okay, but in my head I was like, it's not the same though, because you made junior national team last year. You got to wear a national team uniform on your back last year. Like, you got to represent the United States last year. I've never gotten that chance. And that was it. That was the 2017 or 2007 was the last time I could make junior national team. In 2008, I trained again. I took 3rd at US Open, but was unable to place at nationals, even though I got to go. And that was partially due to a mental block. I know it was mental block because I was trying to visualize positivity and visualize winning, and I wasn't able to do it. And I think part of your visualization, you have to go hand in hand with experience. As you get out there more often, you get more accurate mental images of what's actually happening, and then you can apply it to your later matches. So 2008, no national team. 2009, I do the same exact thing as I did essentially 2007. Full on nutrition, training 2 to 3 times a day. But this time I'm able to train 3 times a day more often because I'm in college now. So there's more time between classes. I'm able to work out 3 times a day. Track workouts, the works. I fly with my dad to the collegiate nationals, and I don't know who's who in the collegiate team. I just know that there are collegiate national team members out there and I need to beat them. So I win a few matches, and then my dad comes to me in the semifinals and he goes, Chris, this is going to be the finals. This is essentially the finals, which means that's code for this is either the current national team member or the former national team member. Like, this is going to be the fight. I go toe to toe with this guy. And thankfully, some calls from my dad. He sees that they're scoring doubles a lot, so I throw a lot more doubles. I'm able to take the fight to this guy. I remember specifically in the last like 15 seconds, my legs were burning. And I remember my workouts, and I was like, there's no way I ran all that time and I did all those kicks just to lose here. So eventually I beat this guy. And it was so surprising that when they called me for the finals, they're like, where's Trevor? Trevor, and they're calling Trevor's name. They didn't even look at the bracket. And someone went up and they said, Trevor lost. This guy beat him. And they're like, oh, interesting. All right, well, who are you? Chris Uy? Yeah, okay, so you're going to be going against this other guy. So I go into the final. Now, the winner of the collegiate nationals at this point was going to represent the United States for the World, I believe it was the Pan Am University Games, or I forgot what it's called, Collegiate University Game, the Pan Am Collegiate or Pan Am University, whatever it was called. And I'm fighting this guy, and we go to sudden death. My dad sees the most perfect call, and he goes, Chris, this guy's getting a little bit tired. Right before he attacks, he's going to step. He's been doing that all last round. When he does that step, uses the op ball. And in my head, I was like, that's perfect, because at this time, my front leg op ball is one of my strongest weapons. Like, it is, if I can hit someone with the op ball and they're open for it, I'm gonna be winning them all day. So I go, okay, perfect. So I step in the ring. We start going, and I see the step. I remember specifically seeing the step, and I go to throw the op ball, my foot slips. And for half a second, my stance widens for a split second, so I can't even kick, and I can't recover because I'm off balance. He hits me and they score it. And that was the end of the match. So I go over, shake his coach's hand. I take off my Hogu and I walk outside. And then I just start crying because I can't for the life of me, I can't understand why national team is always right in front of my face and I just can't cross the line. I just can't, for some reason, I just can't cross the national team line. And I'm crying my eyes out outside. Eventually my dad finds me after like 5 minutes of me sobbing. And he goes, no, Chris, there's team trials in a month. Like, there's another chance to make it. And, I like nod my head, but I'm so frustrated at this point because I've been trying for national team for like 4 going on 5 years now. And for some reason, I just can't crack it. And I don't understand why. So anyway, from that point, I think it was might have been 2 months. But anyway, I'm starting to train for team trials. I show up to one of the trainings and my dad gives a speech. Sometimes he starts our trainings with a speech. Sometimes we just go straight into training. And he starts to give a speech about luck. And he goes over all of my losses, how when I was really close to making national team, as luck would have it, I would end up fighting the junior national team member, or the junior national team member who stayed one more year. I lost the finals. How the next year I beat the junior team member. And then it was just our luck that there was team trials, and then they gave me a gum jung or a kyungo for running, even though I didn't run, which essentially cost me the match. 2008, I was put against mentally, I just wasn't there. In 2009, same thing. We beat the team member, but then we ended up losing the finals. And he reads this letter where he goes, I'd like to inform you, sir, that the guy who I lost to had graduated from West Point, which is a military school, and that the Pan Am Collegiate Games, or whatever it was called, was going to be the exact same time as his graduation. He promised his father he would go to the graduation, and that he had prayed since the beginning of his college career that he would be able to beat Trevor and the guy I beat in the semifinals and bring the national medal back to his father, the national gold. And so he said, because I can't make it, please send the freshman. And so it was that year where I kind of realized that I think God works in mysterious ways. It's where He tries to let people have what they want. So in this case, this guy was able to bring over the national gold to his father, and I was able to put on the USA uniform for the first time and represent the United States in the. Um, I wish I could remember the name of this. The Pan Am Collegiate Pan Ams. It was after this announcement about a month later. This is the story I told you guys with my visualization, where I had fought repeatedly day in and day out the same guy because I knew the other team member in the division was going to be coming. And so I'd fought that guy multiple times a day. I think those two, I know, I can't remember if it was 1 month or 2 months, but I fought him every day, 3 times a day. And that's when I beat him for the spot officially. And that's where the story kind of ends. And so for those of you who are really doing everything, and I mean like really doing everything, like you're working out 2 to 3 times a day, you're at maximum capacity physically, you're trying to research and do your best for nutrition, you're getting the best sleep you can, you're seeing the best trainers, your strength and conditioning is done by experts, like, or as high as you can reach. I would say for you guys to keep trying, because you don't know when the breaking point's going to be, when the universe will start to tip in your favor. And sometimes those things are held away from you because other things are at play, because other people, or because maybe sometimes God's trying to fulfill other people's dreams. So another story, though, that is not as well known is my older sister was really good when she was fighting. Like she was 14 and challenging the senior national team members, or like losing by a point or two. I was at the point at that time I was too young to really understand, but now listening to her, my parents talk about it, they're like, no, she was fighting them at like 14. She was really good. She also kind of hit that ceiling where she wasn't able to crack the national team, and we found out later with all the stuff that happened in the U.S. that at that point in time there's a two who were on there who had a lot of sexual allegations out against them during their time on their own national team. And my dad said, kind of makes me wonder sometimes that Kim was always so close but never made it. And so maybe it was God just looking out for our family. So anyway, now after that point in 2009, when I had won that match, whether I'd won or lost the matches for that, the remainder of my career, my philosophy was always, I'm just going to do my best and I'll let God handle the rest. I don't know what else is at play. I don't know. I don't know what else is at play. I don't know if the universe is trying to make something else happen for someone else at the time. Maybe winning that match or winning one of those previous matches would have maybe satisfied too soon. I would have never fully realized my full dream of fighting the world champion in 2016, or being ranked number 23 in the world later in my career. So you never really know. All I can really say is just keep trying, trust the process, universe or God or whatever you guys believe in will be at work as long as you keep working for it. And if for some reason it's held away from you, sometimes there are reasons behind that you don't know. So this is the last of my 21-day challenge. I hope this helps any of you who are trying to process a loss, especially athletic loss, because I've had a couple of those where, like I said, this story I went through, or it could go down as my greatest losses where I lost my opportunity to make the Olympics. There's some things where I don't know. I don't know what my life would be like if I had made the Olympics. I don't know if I'd be talking to the same people. I don't know if I'd be married to who I'm married to now. And I'm happy I am. And I'm happy my life didn't go in any other direction than it is right now. So for those of you, once again, keep trying and good luck.